New today, special counsel Jack Smith is looking to pause his January 6th case against the president-elect. Today, Smith asked a judge to put on hold all filing deadlines in the federal case accusing Donald Trump of plotting to overturn the 2020 election. Smith cited Trump as the president-elect in his filing, thus acknowledging that it's a tricky legal limbo. The case is now in because there's a long-standing Justice Department policy that bars prosecution of sitting presidents. Smith asked for a new deadline of December 2nd to file a status report or inform the court of its deliberations. Now, a big question heading into Trump's second term is, will he have more picks for the U.S. Supreme Court? In his first term, the president-elect put 3 justices on the high court. It drastically shifted the makeup, leading to landmark decisions like the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Joining me now is Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, the Supreme Court carries a heavy weight, and now we could see more possible appointments by Trump that includes replacing justices like Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, right?
Yes, for sure. So what I can tell you is that carrying a heavy weight's an understatement. It's a 6-3 majority right now, and even though I hate to look at this as an Obama appointee or a Trump appointee, that's the era that we're in, and I don't think that oftentimes they go across ideological lines, but sometimes they do. And so that 6-3 majority does help push through some of the conservative things that come before the court. But what I can say is I don't think that he'll have an opportunity to appoint a new seat, take one of the Democratic ones, make it a 7-2. What I do think he will do is at some point give more time to the conservatives that are already on the bench. Look at it, Clarence Thomas, 76, Alito, 73, or 74, I should say. So most of the judges that get to retiring ages are about 83 years old. But if they're at that point where they can retire, which they can, and if they want to, if they have an opportunity with a Republican judge that can replace them and give someone else maybe another 40 to 50 years on the bench, oftentimes that's what will happen. I mean, look at the folks that are on there, Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. Those folks will probably be on the bench until 2060. And so that's a long time from now. And if you can put someone in there today, they'll be in there probably 2070. So you're talking about generational change of appointments that he may have an opportunity to do.
So in addition to abortion rights, we saw the Supreme Court rule on cases like presidential immunity and January 6 obstruction charges, all ending in another 6-3 decision.
That 6-3, those ones fall right across ideological lines. The ones that I think have been a little bit tougher are the ones for the agencies. That's alphabet soup that I talk about, the FDA, the FEC, the FTC, SEC, any of those ones that have come before them, that's an agency, a rulemaking agency that has created an agency rule that now the public is frustrated with, that Congress may even be frustrated with. Those type of cases where this court has had a tendency to limit them haven't been 6-3. They've been a lot closer. But I think if you get some other justices or newer justices on the bench, it may be that 6-3 that they would like to see. And so I would say that it would be a change, and not just immediate. We're talking about life changing. The most recent one I can think of is Roe v. Wade. When Roe v. Wade overturned, it took 50 plus years. So now you have the Dobbs decision. It will take that much longer for something like that to be overturned or for a case of that magnitude to be heard. This court will hear those types of cases again and again in the next 40 to 50 years.
You know, I know earlier this year, people made a case for liberal justice like Sonia Sotomayor to retire during Biden's term. She's been on the high court for 15 years, which is the average justice serves roughly about like 16, I think. So do you think she will retire?
She got appointed late. She's only 70 years old, and late in age, I should say. She's only 70 years old. I don't think that it would be her decision to step down. I mean, health is something that can take over at any point. But I think as a Democrat, she probably would make a determination to fight as long as she could until a Democrat would have an opportunity to fill her vacancy. I mean, but obviously health, you can't stop that. If that occurs, and now we're again talking about a 7-2, and then the entire bench would the dynamics of it would change for a long time.
You know, we think in 4 years, but when you think about the Supreme Court, it's decades.
Lifetime appointment. These folks aren't going anywhere unless they decide to go.
Thank you so much, Khalif.